knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Lao Tzu. Have you ever wondered how to be your best self in relationships? This is a question that many people have because deep down we all crave affection, respect, and true appreciation from those around us. But how do we achieve this? How do we earn true admiration for our essential essence, not just our superficial qualities and achievements? Think of every relationship as an adventure. That way you become an explorer of yourself. You want to discover the treasure hidden within your soul and share it with others. But to do so, you need a path that leads to connection and ultimately to the understanding of love. Today I will support you in discovering your true value in love. This is based on 9 ancient philosophical precepts from the Stoics. Be careful, this is not just some empty advice you often hear. It is about empowering yourself in ways you never imagined. Get ready to uncover the secrets of cultivating a life full of love and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and inner strength. Let's get started. Number 1. Know your true worth. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So how does Stoicism relate to understanding your worth in relationships? Stoicism believed in focusing on what we have power over and inferring what our worth is entirely within our reach. It's not about how many likes you get on social media or if someone has shown interest in you. It's a matter of how you see and value yourself. Imagine you are a gemstone. Not everyone truly recognizes the value of a rare gemstone. Some people may pass by without recognizing its importance, but that doesn't make it less valuable. It remains precious and rare. It's only you. Your worth does not decrease just because someone overlooks it. Let's be honest, we have all experienced rejection and felt inadequate at some point, especially in today's world, where everyone seems to be doing just fine. But here's the truth from a Stoic perspective. Your worth is not dependent on others' approval. It is related to how you behave. Your principles of conduct. You are compassionate, you are honest, you live in alignment with your values. Therein lies your true worth. Stoics believe in self-reflection. So, take a moment to stop and think about your qualities. Not just the obvious ones, but also the deeper aspects that really matter, and you will find strength. Relationships are therefore about finding the strength in your own values and self-esteem, whether others perceive it or not. Always remember that understanding your worth is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey, a practice that evolves over time. It's about waking up every day and acknowledging that you are worthy, not because of what others think, but because of the intrinsic qualities that make you who you are. Understanding your true worth is the cornerstone of all meaningful relationships. In Stoic philosophy, self-worth is derived from within, not from external validation or the opinions of others. To show your loved one your true worth, you must first recognize it yourself. This involves a deep and honest evaluation of your values, strengths, and weaknesses. It's about embracing who you are without needing constant affirmation from those around you. In psychology, this concept is akin to self-actualization, where the individual's sense of worth is independent of societal pressures and judgments. Your true worth should be anchored in your principles and character, rather than fleeting accomplishments or material possessions. By focusing on your internal growth and character, you project an aura of self-assuredness that silently communicates your value to others. This is not arrogance. It's a quiet confidence rooted in self-awareness. In economics, the value of a currency is not merely in its physical form, but in the trust and belief people place in it. Similarly, your worth is not in superficial qualities, but in the steadfastness of your self-belief. Knowing your worth also means understanding what you bring to the table and recognizing that you are enough, just as you are. It's easy to lose sight of this when you're constantly comparing yourself to others. In biology, every organism has a niche, a role that only it can fulfill within an ecosystem. You too have a unique place in the lives of those around you that cannot be replicated or replaced. Embracing this uniqueness helps you maintain a sense of purpose and worth, independent of others' perceptions. When you truly know your worth, you stop seeking approval and begin living authentically. This silent assurance is one of the most powerful ways to show your loved ones your true value. It's evident in the choices you make, the boundaries you set, and the respect you command without uttering a word. Just as a rare painting's value isn't shouted from the rooftops, but quietly understood by those who appreciate art, your worth needs no loud declaration. Knowing your worth silently influences your actions, guiding you to make decisions that align with your values. It enables you to walk away from situations that don't serve you, maintain your dignity in challenging circumstances, and foster connections that are rooted in mutual respect and admiration. It's about being true to yourself and not compromising your self-respect, no matter how much you care about someone else. Number 2. Present yourself with dignity. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Aristotle. Before you imagine the Stoics as ancient, strict, and serious people, let me make one thing clear. Stoicism is not about suppressing or being indifferent to your emotions, but about understanding what is worthy of your energy, what is not, and how you present yourself is what generates your energy. Now let's talk about what it means to present yourself with dignity in relationships. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we try so hard to impress someone that we lose sight of who we really are? We dress and say anything in the hope of being recognized. But here is the key point, and this is where our calm and wise perspective comes into play. Your self-esteem is not tied to your style of clothing or the trendy places you frequent. It's about how you present yourself, the things you do, and the decisions you make. Imagine you are standing in a classroom watching two students give a presentation. One student is flamboyant and uses exaggerated words and gestures to impress the audience, while the other student is calm and confident in his or her appearance. Which student will impress you? It is often the student who is comfortable with who they are. This emphasizes the importance of appearing dignified, the Stoics, known for their philosophy of self-control and virtue. I emphasized the importance of living an honest life and respecting yourself. But how does this apply to dating today? It's simple. If you love to dive into a book, embrace it. If you have a strong passion for something, don't do it. Show that it's not a problem to pretend to be someone else. Be comfortable and confident in who you are. Understand that you are worthy just the way you are. Here's another important point. How you respect yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. You are always criticizing yourself. Basically, I want to say that if you criticize yourself, it's okay for others to do the same, but respect your time, energy, and feelings. You make a bold statement, "I deserve respect, and I expect to be treated accordingly." Think about it. Epicus, the wise Stoic philosopher, once said that in relationships, it is not about what happens to you, but how you react. It's not just about your appearance or what you say, it's also about your reactions and behavior in different situations. Will you respond with desperation or with dignity? Will you sacrifice your principles to fit in with society? Or will you stay true to yourself, even if it means being isolated? This doesn't require perfection. We are all just human beings who make mistakes and go through difficulties. What matters is how you deal with these moments. Will you withstand the pressure or stay strong? Keep learning. Dignity is the quiet armor that shields you from the chaos of external judgment and inner turmoil. In every interaction, presenting yourself with dignity means respecting yourself enough to maintain composure, regardless of how others treat you. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others act, but we can control our response. Presenting yourself with dignity is about managing your reactions, holding your head high, and staying true to your values even when it's tempting to stoop to lower levels of behavior. In social psychology, dignity relates to self-respect and is reflected in how one conducts oneself in various situations. It's about not allowing others to dictate your emotional state or your actions. This doesn't mean being aloof or indifferent. It means maintaining your principles even when tested. In business, professionals who present themselves with dignity are often the most respected, as they convey a sense of calm, control, and reliability. Dignity also encompasses the way you treat others, including those who may not necessarily deserve your respect. In medicine, the Hippocratic Oath is a testament to dignity, as it requires doctors to treat patients with respect and compassion, regardless of circumstances. Similarly, presenting yourself with dignity means maintaining your standards of kindness and respect in all interactions, showing your loved one that your worth is not contingent on external factors, but is intrinsic to who you are. Presenting yourself with dignity doesn't mean you won't experience emotions like anger, sadness, or disappointment. It means you manage these emotions with grace. It's about understanding that your worth is not diminished by others' actions or opinions. By staying true to your values, you demonstrate a quiet strength that is both admirable and magnetic. Just as a mountain stands firm amidst the elements, your dignity remains steadfast, unaffected by the shifting tides of external circumstances. Presenting yourself with dignity means not begging for attention or validation. It's about showing your loved one that you value yourself enough to maintain your integrity, no matter the situation. This silent demonstration of self-respect speaks volumes and often inspires similar respect in others. It creates a foundation of mutual respect and admiration, which is essential for any healthy relationship. Number 3. The art of nonverbal communication. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Peter Drucker. It may sound a bit old-fashioned or harsh at first, but listen. It's not about being unapproachable, it's about respecting yourself and acknowledging your worth. So what does the Stoics have to say about this? Stoicism teaches us to control ourselves and stay strong, but not in a strict, boring way. In a world where we want everything immediately and scroll endlessly, it's important to understand what's really important and not give it up easily. Stoicism feels like a breath of fresh air. Think about it. In relationships, or when getting to know someone, there is often an urge to share everything: time, space, and deepest feelings. But the Stoics suggest taking a step back and thinking. Why? Because when something is always available, it loses its specialness. That's the human way. If you're always there when someone needs you, you'll always say yes to everything. Where's the excitement, the mystery, the expectation? Let's talk about how to set boundaries gracefully and stoically. It starts with the appearance. Dressing stylishly but modestly is not just about appearance. It sends a message and it gets across. I respect myself. You have nothing to hide, but you also don't reveal everything up front. It is important to find a balance and express that there is more to me than you see. Another important aspect is managing your time and focus in a very connected world. Choosing who to devote your time to is a meaningful choice. It is not about playing games, but rather recognizing that my time is valuable and precious, and I prioritize it wisely. If you are with someone, participate and get involved with them with all your might. But if you are not, Dedicate your energy to your own life interests and personal growth. Stoicism also values emotions, self-control. It does not advocate being cold or detached. Instead, it encourages maintaining a balanced perspective. This means not letting the little things affect you so deeply. It is about maintaining peace and tranquility. You should not give your emotional energy to anyone freely. Just as you selectively allocate your time and attention, it does not mean that you should become cold or distant like a Stoic statue. We are all human, and true connection is essential to a fulfilling life. But there is something special about taking things at a steady pace. There is something special about building connections that are not just momentary gratification. It's about building meaningful relationships with depth and consistency, something that goes beyond instant access and quick fixes. It's important to note that setting boundaries is not about using tricks or controlling situations. It's about respecting yourself and staying true to your principles. This has a huge impact on how others see and treat you. You value yourself, and you deserve to be treated with respect. Nonverbal communication is a powerful tool that often speaks louder than words. In relationships, your actions, expressions, and body language can convey respect, love, and understanding far more effectively than verbal declarations. Stoicism emphasizes control over one's demeanor and expressions as a way to project inner peace and strength. Nonverbal cues like eye contact, attentive listening, and gentle touch can communicate your true worth and commitment to your loved one without needing to vocalize it. In the field of psychology, studies show that nonverbal communication accounts for a significant portion of how we convey and perceive messages. A calm, confident posture can convey self-assurance, while a warm smile can express openness and affection. Nonverbal communication isn't about manipulating others. It's about being authentic in how you present yourself. When you master this art, you can silently communicate your value and intentions, making others feel respected and understood in your presence. Nonverbal communication also includes the way you listen. Active listening, without interrupting or rushing to respond, shows respect and appreciation for your loved one's thoughts and feelings. It demonstrates that you value their perspective and are genuinely engaged in the conversation. In leadership studies, effective leaders are often those who listen more than they speak, using their silence as a tool to understand, evaluate, and respond thoughtfully. The art of nonverbal communication extends to how you carry yourself in various situations. A composed and relaxed demeanor in the face of stress or conflict communicates resilience and inner strength. In Stoicism, this is reflected in the practice of apatheia, which is not the absence of emotions, but the mastery over them. By controlling your reactions and maintaining a calm exterior, you silently show your loved ones that you are dependable, composed, and capable of handling whatever comes your way. Mastering nonverbal communication involves being aware of your gestures, facial expressions, and body language in all interactions. This silent mastery can enhance your relationships as it shows that you are present, engaged, and in control. It's a subtle yet powerful way to convey your worth, demonstrating that you are someone who can be trusted, respected, and valued without the need for constant verbal affirmations. Number 4. Be ready to walk away. Sometimes walking away is the only way to win. Unknown. Stoicism has the powerful idea of understanding what can and cannot be changed, instead of letting go in a distant or indifferent way. Situations that are not in line with our well-being, this becomes especially important in relationships. We have all been there. It may be the fear of loneliness that makes us choose to stay. Even though we know we deserve better, Sometimes we fear change, or we simply hold out hope for improvement, but this is where Stoicism comes in. Real strength comes from recognizing that we have the power and can to stay or leave a situation that goes against our principles. Choosing a different path does not mean that relationships take effort, understanding, and time. But it is important to have a deep understanding of your values and principles so that you are willing to move forward, even when they fundamentally contradict you. I respect myself for that inner resilience, that stoic courage. Let's dig deeper into this idea. Trying to walk away from a situation has to do with self-esteem. It means sticking to what you believe in and knowing your value. It doesn't always have to be a big, dramatic breakup. Sometimes it is a quiet decision, a peaceful realization that this is not right for you. Sure, it can be scary. I know that feeling an uncertain future can make you anxious, but think of our Stoic friends. They taught us how important it is to face difficulties with courage and embrace the uncertainty of life. It is to understand that sometimes the most courageous act is to let go of what does not fit your path. This perspective can change everything. When you realize that you are in a relationship and you are there not because you are scared to break up, because it reflects your values. It is a game changer. It changes the whole dynamic. They cannot escape from despair or fear. You stay because it is your true decision. And here is the key point. When you boldly move away from what does not serve you, it creates space. What does it mean to leave the past to welcome the future? It is about trusting that something better is waiting for you and giving yourself the opportunity to discover it. Remember that being willing to move forward does not mean being distant or indifferent. It is about valuing and caring for yourself enough to say that you are worth more. It's about embodying Stoicism when difficulties arise and understanding that your self-worth doesn't depend on anyone or anything else. One of the most powerful silent actions you can take to show your worth is being willing to walk away from situations that do not serve you or align with your values. This doesn't mean being dismissive or uninterested. It means understanding that your worth is not dependent on any single person or relationship. In Stoicism, the practice of detachment teaches us to not be overly attached to external outcomes. Your ability to walk away signals that you value yourself enough not to settle for less than you deserve. In negotiation theory, the concept of BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement, emphasizes the power of having the option to walk away. Knowing your alternatives and being prepared to pursue them strengthens your position and often leads to better outcomes. Similarly, in relationships, being ready to walk away if your worth isn't recognized or respected is a powerful statement of self-respect. It communicates that you are not desperate or dependent on external validation, but secure in your self-worth. Walking away is not about creating drama or ultimatums. It's about setting a silent boundary that protects your dignity and peace of mind. In biology, this is seen in the behavior of animals who abandon unproductive environments to seek better conditions. Humans, too, must recognize when a situation is no longer conducive to their well-being and have the courage to leave it behind. This action speaks volumes about your self-respect and the standards you uphold for yourself. Being willing to walk away also serves as a reminder to your loved one that your presence is a choice, not a necessity. It reinforces that your engagement in the relationship is based on mutual respect and shared values, rather than fear of being alone or undervalued. This quiet confidence can often prompt others to reconsider their actions and attitudes as they recognize that you are not willing to compromise on your principles for the sake of convenience or comfort. Walking away when necessary demonstrates resilience and self-preservation, qualities that are essential in Stoicism. It is a reminder that you are in control of your actions and your destiny, not at the mercy of others' whims or desires. In relationships, this doesn't mean you are unyielding or inflexible, but rather that you have the inner strength to stand by your values. This silent action, rooted in self-respect, is a powerful way to communicate your true worth to those around you. Number 5. Set boundaries silently. Good fences make good neighbors. Robert Frost. Stoics emphasize the importance of actions over mere words. Stoics insist on demonstrating your beliefs rather than simply stating them. This is especially true when it comes to setting boundaries in relationships. Talking about your limits is one thing, but showing them through actions is much more powerful. Consider this. It is easy to declare that you will not accept abuse, but the real test comes when you encounter such behavior. Will you respect your boundaries, or will you compromise them? Herein lies the real strength, and it lies in actions, not words. I understand that this is not easy. It can be difficult, especially when emotions are involved. But let us remember the wisdom of the Stoics. We have the power to choose how we respond to situations. When someone crosses a boundary, it is your reaction, not just your words, that sets and enforces that boundary. Imagine a situation in which honesty is a core value for you, but someone lies to you. Your reaction in this moment shows how serious you are about your boundaries. Whether you choose to calmly deal with the issue or choose to step back and act, your actions show your commitment to your values. It's not about causing problems, but about demonstrating self-respect by responding in a way that is consistent with your beliefs. This approach can make a huge difference in relationships when others see that you have clear boundaries and are willing to enforce them. You'll have a better understanding of what you accept and what you don't. It's about promoting self-respect and sticking to it. Let's deepen basic concepts with a simple approach. Not only important events matter, but everyday moments matter too. When plans suddenly change or someone doesn't value you enough, how do you react? Put it aside or calmly express through words and actions that such behavior is unacceptable. This is where Stoic mindfulness comes into the game. It's about paying attention. It's important to pay attention to the small moments, now and how you respond to it. Are you acting in line with your boundaries? Are you being honest with yourself? Because as we go about our days and interact with others, it's often these moments that really test our boundaries. Try to embody a Stoic vibe. Our limitations, it's not about stubbornness or indomitableness. It's about having an inner guide that directs our actions and our answers. And believe me, when you adopt this approach, people will notice and start to see you as someone who values themselves enough to not only set boundaries, but to maintain them. Setting boundaries is crucial in showing your worth, and doing so silently can often be more effective than verbal declarations. In Stoicism, the concept of boundaries aligns with the discipline of will, understanding what is within your control and what is not. By setting clear, silent boundaries, you define how you wish to be treated and what behaviors you will not tolerate. Boundaries are not about controlling others, but about maintaining your own space, respect, and dignity. In the field of interpersonal relationships, boundaries serve as guidelines that protect your emotional and mental well-being. They help you communicate your limits without the need for confrontation or explanation. Silent boundaries can be set through your actions, such as how you respond to certain behaviors or the distance you maintain in relationships that don't respect your values. This approach minimizes conflict while reinforcing your worth. Silent boundaries can also be seen in nature. For instance, animals instinctively know the limits of their territory and defend it without unnecessary noise or aggression. They simply act in ways that make their boundaries clear. Similarly, in relationships, your silent actions, like stepping back from situations that don't serve you or not engaging in negative dynamics, send a strong message about what you will accept. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. It shows your loved one that you value yourself and that your peace of mind is not negotiable. This can lead to deeper respect and understanding in the relationship, as your silent boundaries encourage others to honor your space and needs. By setting these boundaries without a fuss, you demonstrate your worth in a calm, composed manner that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Moreover, boundaries allow you to maintain your individuality within a relationship. They prevent enmeshment and ensure that your self-worth is not lost in the pursuit of pleasing others. In business, companies set boundaries through contracts and policies to protect their interests and maintain order. In personal relationships, silent boundaries act in much the same way, ensuring that respect and understanding are maintained without constant negotiation or debate. Number 6. Actions speak louder than words. Deeds will be done while we talk. William Shakespeare. As we have learned, Stoicism is about practical wisdom, which means judging people by their actions and not just their words. In our world, many people say good things, but we should not remain silent. I think this is especially true in relationships. Stoicism advises us to see through the charm and focus on actions instead. Stoicism advises us to pay attention to actions, because actions show reality. Remember this: it is easy for someone to say everything perfectly, to promise, to explain things, a seemingly perfect future. But will this person really follow through on what he says? His actions back up his words. There is truth in it, let's be honest. None of us have experienced this before. We meet someone, he says incredible things, we are enchanted. But as time goes on, his actions do not match the words he promised to call, but they cancel at the last minute without making plans. Yet we stick to their word here. Our inner Stoic mindset reminds us that Stoicism must take over. This is about not being influenced by words or overwhelmed by emotions. It's logical, and when someone's actions don't match their words, it's a warning sign and a clear view of reality. It's like the universe is saying, hey, notice something is wrong here. This mindset changes the way you deal with relationships. Instead of getting carried away with sweet words and promises, you start noticing the little details, how the other person behaves under pressure. Do they keep their promises? Do they support you with meaningful actions and not just words? When you focus, and this is the fascinating part, you set the standard, not on what people say, but on what they do. You tell them, I'm not just listening to your words, I'm watching your actions. And that really impacts. They realize that they can't just talk the way they want to. In your life, they have to prove that they are sincere and trustworthy. But remember that it's not about being negative or doubting everyone. It's about guarding your emotions wisely with Stoic insight. It means not getting carried away with emotions, but keeping your emotions. Be realistic, be mindful of your actions and not just your words. Love with a Stoic mindset. Be logical, careful, thoughtful, and remember, because ultimately, actions matter more than words. The concept that actions speak louder than words is a core tenet in demonstrating your worth, particularly in Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes living according to one's values rather than merely professing them. The true measure of character lies not in what we say, but in what we do consistently over time. Words can be persuasive, but actions reveal true intentions and commitment. In relationships, showing your worth through actions means being reliable, keeping promises, and acting with integrity, even when no one is watching. This approach speaks volumes about your values and silently communicates your worth. In psychology, this principle is reflected in the theory of behaviorism, which posits that actions are a more reliable indicator of intentions than verbal statements. People are more likely to trust those whose actions align with their words, as consistency builds credibility and trustworthiness. In your relationships, this means that your loved one will learn to value you not because of what you promise, but because of what you deliver. Consistent, positive actions show that you are dependable and that your worth is grounded in reality, not in empty assurances. Actions also serve as a powerful form of nonverbal communication. In fields like conflict resolution and negotiation, body language and actions often play a larger role in conveying intentions than words. By demonstrating respect, care, and commitment through your actions, you convey your worth without the need for constant verbal affirmations. For example, showing up when it matters, offering support without being asked, and maintaining composure in difficult situations all silently demonstrate your value in the relationship. Additionally, actions can help solidify your boundaries and standards. When you set limits and follow through with them, you're not just talking about your values, you're living them. This creates a silent but clear signal about what you will accept and what you will not. In law, actions often have more significant consequences than intentions or words, which parallels how, in relationships, actions create a lasting impact that words alone cannot achieve. By consistently demonstrating your worth through actions, you not only set a standard for yourself, but also influence how others perceive and treat you. In the end, actions cultivate respect and admiration because they reflect the effort and intention behind them. By aligning your actions with your principles, you silently communicate your worth to those around you. This alignment ensures that your worth is not just an abstract concept, but a lived reality, seen and appreciated by those who matter. In every action, you have the opportunity to reinforce your value and show your loved one the depth of your commitment and integrity. Number 7. Cultivate healthy skepticism. Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is absurd. Stoicism and reality go hand in hand. The Stoics believed in understanding situations as they are, not as we would like them to be. This philosophy is especially useful in romance and dating. We've all been there, right? When someone says the right words, we tend to take them at their word, even if there are red flags we don't want to miss. This is where adopting a Stoic mindset can be beneficial. Being properly skeptical is like having a superpower. It doesn't mean being pessimistic or doubtful. It's about staying realistic and not blindly accepting everything. It means paying attention, asking questions, and not rushing into things without careful consideration. Imagine the following scenario. You meet a new person who seems great. They say a lot of nice things and tell you about their future, but it's still for a short time. Your skeptical and stoic mindset would advise you to stay calm, see if your actions match your words, and see how things develop. It is like a gentle reality check that encourages you to keep your feet on the ground and pay attention, rather than getting carried away with romance. This skepticism does not mean bombarding the other person with questions or doubting their every move, but being thoughtful. Not only do you listen to what the other person says, but you also observe their actions. You need to take the time to understand the other person, to see if they are consistent and sincere. Stoicism emphasizes logic and reason in relationships, not just being carried away by emotions, and this approach is very important. When emotions prevail, we may miss important details, but if we combine our emotions with a degree of skepticism and logical thinking, we can see things more clearly. Another important aspect is to protect your heart by keeping a bit of skepticism. Don't rush into something without being sure. Give yourself the opportunity to understand the other person's true nature, rather than projecting your desires onto them. So keep in mind the importance of adopting an air of Stoic skepticism. It is about intellectual attention and not about what it is about. Let your emotions carry you. It's important to protect yourself and improve your mental well-being. It's not about isolating yourself, but about approaching new possibilities with care and wisdom. Healthy skepticism is about maintaining a balanced view of situations and people, including those closest to you. In Stoicism, it's essential to question appearances and not take everything at face value. This doesn't mean being cynical or distrustful, but rather maintaining a clear, objective perspective. Healthy skepticism allows you to make decisions based on reason rather than assumptions or emotions, which can often be misleading. By practicing this, you silently show your loved one that you value truth, authenticity, and clear judgment over blind acceptance. In science, skepticism is a foundational principle that drives inquiry and discovery. Scientists are trained to question hypotheses, seek evidence, and remain open to new information. Similarly, in relationships, cultivating healthy skepticism means being open to understanding deeper truths rather than clinging to preconceived notions. This approach prevents misunderstandings and ensures that your actions are grounded in reality. It shows your loved one that you are thoughtful, considerate, and value clarity in all interactions. Healthy skepticism also involves questioning your own beliefs and biases. This self-reflection is crucial in maintaining a fair and balanced view of your relationship dynamics. In philosophy, Socrates famously stated that the unexamined life is not worth living, highlighting the importance of self-scrutiny. By regularly examining your thoughts, motivations, and actions, you can ensure that your behavior aligns with your values. This self-awareness is a silent testament to your worth, as it demonstrates a commitment to personal growth and authenticity. Skepticism can help you set realistic expectations and avoid unnecessary disappointment. For example, by understanding that no one is perfect, you can approach conflicts or challenges with a balanced mindset, focusing on constructive solutions rather than assigning blame. This approach fosters a healthier dynamic where both parties feel understood and respected. In economics, skepticism about market trends or investments can protect one from unnecessary risks, just as healthy skepticism in relationships can safeguard your emotional well-being. Ultimately, cultivating healthy skepticism helps you navigate relationships with wisdom and discernment. It allows you to act with integrity, make thoughtful decisions, and avoid being swayed by fleeting emotions or unfounded assumptions. This silent action of maintaining a questioning mind reflects your commitment to truth and authenticity, qualities that are invaluable in any relationship. By embracing skepticism, you not only protect your own worth, but also create a foundation of trust and respect in your interactions with others. Number 8. Say no with confidence. The ability to say no is a tremendous advantage for an investor. Warren Buffett. In Stoicism, it is important to have the courage to stand by your values and stay true to yourself. This is especially true when it comes to saying no in relationships. It means knowing your beliefs and not hesitating to follow your expectations, even if it causes confusion. Imagine you are in a relationship and your partner suggests something that makes you uncomfortable. He may act too quickly or ask you to do something that goes against your values. It seems like an easy choice, but this is where your stoic mindset comes into play. Saying no in this situation means taking care of yourself, your beliefs, and your boundaries. To be honest, this is not a walk in the park. It can be very difficult, especially if you care about the other person who keeps whispering in your head, "What if I say no and push them away?" But well, we have to be courageous. Stoicism is not just about dealing with external things, but also facing our internal struggles head-on. Saying no means respecting yourself. It means showing that you value yourself and will not accept anything less than what you deserve. Sure, there is a risk that you will lose her in the end, but here is a key point when refusing anything contrary to this. If your values turn the other person off, maybe they were never right for you in the first place. This approach can really change the dynamics of a relationship when someone realizes that you are not afraid to say no and that they do not share your opinion. Values compromise only to please the other person. It changes how the other person sees you. It shows that you have self-respect and that you value yourself. And let me say that that is incredibly attractive. And here is another Stoic perspective on stopping at nothing. It's not just about setting boundaries with others, it's also about being true to yourself. It's about recognizing and sticking to your true wants and needs in relationships. It's about not letting the fear of loneliness get to you. When you are forced to make a decision that is not in line with your true self, stop and think about it. Let's affirm that saying no is not always acceptable, but essential. It's about staying true to yourself. It's about living with integrity, as the Stoics emphasized. It's about nurturing relationships based on mutual respect and true connection, not fear and compromise. Learning to say no confidently is a powerful way to demonstrate your worth, as it shows that you value your time, energy, and principles. In Stoicism, the discipline of will emphasizes control over one's own actions and decisions rather than being swayed by external pressures. Saying no when necessary is a silent affirmation of your priorities and boundaries. It communicates that you are not willing to compromise your values for the sake of convenience or pleasing others, thereby reinforcing your self-respect. In the realm of business, the ability to say no is often regarded as a key leadership skill. Leaders who can confidently decline offers, requests, or opportunities that do not align with their goals are better able to maintain focus and integrity. Similarly, in personal relationships, saying no when needed protects your boundaries and ensures that your actions are true to your values. It's not about rejecting others, but about affirming your own needs and limits. This silent but firm stance communicates your worth and teaches others how to respect your boundaries. Saying no also aligns with the psychological principle of assertiveness, which is the ability to stand up for yourself in a way that respects both your rights and the rights of others. It is a balanced approach that avoids the pitfalls of passivity or aggression. In relationships, being assertive enough to say no when necessary shows that you are in control of your choices and are not easily swayed by guilt or obligation. This clarity of intent reinforces your self-worth and helps build mutual respect. Moreover, saying no with confidence can prevent burnout and resentment, both of which can undermine relationships. By prioritizing your own well-being, you ensure that you have the energy and positivity to invest in your relationships in a healthy way. In healthcare, the importance of setting limits is well recognized in patient care to avoid burnout among caregivers. Similarly, in personal dynamics, setting limits through a confident no maintains your capacity to give and connect genuinely. Saying no with confidence sends a powerful message about self-respect. It shows that you do not feel compelled to overextend yourself or compromise on what matters most to you. This silent declaration of self-worth encourages others to value your time and boundaries as well. By confidently setting limits, you demonstrate that your worth is not dependent on how much you can give or how many demands you can meet, but on staying true to your own principles and well-being. Number 9. Never hunt, but always value only Don't chase people. Be yourself, do your own thing, and work hard. The right people will come to you and stay. Will Smith. The principle of never hunting but always valuing is about knowing that true worth is not found in chasing after others or seeking validation, but in recognizing and appreciating what is already present. Stoicism teaches us that fulfillment comes from valuing what we have, rather than constantly striving for what we lack. In relationships, this means appreciating your loved ones for who they are, without trying to change them or pursuing those who do not reciprocate your efforts. By valuing only what aligns with your values, you demonstrate self-respect and discernment. In behavioral economics, the concept of opportunity cost teaches us to value our choices wisely, understanding that every pursuit involves foregoing other options. By not chasing after every opportunity or relationship, you ensure that your time and energy are spent on what truly matters. This silent but deliberate choice communicates your worth by showing that you are selective and intentional about where you invest your efforts. It reflects a deep understanding of your own value and the value of your time, signaling to others that you do not need to chase to prove your worth. In nature, we observe that the most majestic animals, like lions or eagles, do not hunt continuously out of desperation. They hunt when necessary and rest otherwise, conserving their energy and valuing their own well-being. This approach can be applied to relationships. Instead of chasing people's approval or affection, focus on cultivating and valuing the connections that naturally reciprocate your energy and respect. By not hunting for validation, you maintain your dignity and independence, reinforcing your worth in a silent but profound way. Psychologically, the act of not chasing aligns with secure attachment styles. People with secure attachments are comfortable with intimacy and autonomy, allowing relationships to unfold naturally without forcing connections or constantly seeking reassurance. This mindset helps create a stable and balanced dynamic where both parties feel valued and respected. In contrast, chasing can often lead to anxiety and imbalance, detracting from your sense of self-worth. By valuing what is already aligned with your values, you nurture healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Moreover, in the world of art and literature, the idea of valuing the present over constant pursuit is often celebrated. Great works often emphasize the importance of appreciating the beauty and value in what already exists rather than endlessly seeking more. This principle can be applied in personal relationships by fully valuing and investing in those who are already a meaningful part of your life. It's a silent affirmation of worth that says, "I am enough, and what we have is enough," fostering deeper connections built on mutual respect and genuine appreciation. By never hunting but always valuing, you maintain a sense of balance and self-assuredness that is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are content and confident in their own worth, without the need for constant validation. This quiet confidence not only enhances your relationships, but also serves as a testament to your inner strength and values. In every interaction, this approach subtly yet powerfully communicates that your worth is intrinsic, not contingent upon the pursuit or approval of others. This applies well to everything we've talked about so far, especially when viewed from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't control. Having control over this idea is very powerful when thinking about relationships. It means realizing that chasing someone who is moving away from you is not only pointless, but also inconsistent with valuing yourself and knowing your worth. Imagine this situation where you are dating someone. Everything seems great, but then they start to distance ourselves. The natural impulse, we've all been there, is to chase them, trying to fill that gap. But this is where the Stoics can guide us. A Stoic would ask, why pursue something it's outside of your control? The answer lies in your self-worth, your dignity, and peace of mind. Chasing someone who is withdrawing is like trying to reach for water. It leaves you feeling meaningless and empty. The Stoic approach encourages you to stand firm in your self-worth. When someone starts to pull away from you, let them go. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control how other people feel or act, you have complete control over how you want to respond. Resisting the urge to check if someone is doing something takes a lot of inner strength, but it's about trusting that people who truly value you will show it. It means refusing to let the actions of others define your self-worth. It means affirming that I am worthy of respect, and even if you don't see others doing so, this mindset changes everything. It gives you back the power. It makes you feel empowered. It makes you no longer at the mercy of the unpredictable actions of others. It makes you feel in control of how you feel and act. It's frankly liberating. And here's the kicker. When you stop chasing others and start investing in your own life, amazing things happen to your growth. You naturally attract people who are attracted to your strength, your confidence, your self-worth. It seems to be sending a message that explains that you value yourself, and I recognize that. So let's take this lesson to heart. Let's make sure we don't have to chase anyone. Let's be stoic in our relationships, keep our cool, our self-respect, and focus on what we create. It can be done. As we come to the end of our conversation today about finding your own inner peace and not seeking approval from others, I want you to embrace something very important on the huge canvas of life: self-esteem. It's like the brightest thread that holds it all together. Just as the Stoics believed that we can choose how we react to what's going on around us, remember that we have control over our honor and self-esteem. Embrace your inner strength. Your actions, decisions, and boundaries reflect the amazing human you are. If you've ever doubted yourself, remember this moment and the Stoic wisdom we discussed. Life is not something to simply endure. If we enjoy our lives, each day is an opportunity to evolve, become stronger and wiser. Thank you for joining us in this conversation. Always remember that you don't have to go through this journey alone. We're all in it together, one day at a time, one step at a time. Until our next chat, take care, be wise, and continue to embrace your inner Stoic.